Hello again, this is the Sports Betting Whale on Tuesday, March 7th, 2017. For those of you that played the games yesterday, we won a little bit on the half times. Good. Suffered through some horrific beats again on the games yesterday. I'll give you a couple examples. We're now, this is happening way too often to the point where the friends around me and the people I work with say that in the 25 years that they've been following my plays, they've never seen this streak of ridiculous finishes that we've been going through lately. In fact, one of my lawyer friends said that he's going to start doubling and tripling up on what he plays on my games going forward, because he knows that this ridiculous streak of losing games that we're winning all the way to the end will end soon and probably reverse in a very powerful way. I personally agree. I'm going to start firing even heavier myself, whatever I can get away with, I'm going to, because clearly there's a lot of good breaks coming if it's all going to even out. Example yesterday, we all had Denver -7 in the first half, tied to the Houston Rockets in the under. Rockets were winning the entire game and ended up covering. Ended up push on an under when it was very strong under pace the whole game. A lot of threes and fouls at the end. Fine, that happens. But the Iona game, the Denver game, first of all, the Denver first half, we were up 12 with a couple minutes to go, back and forth, and then we ended up 12 with the ball in 26 seconds to go, laying 7 in the first half. You'd have to kind of stretch your imagination to figure out how you would not win up 12 with 26 seconds to go and the ball laying 7. If they played that situation over 1,000 times, I would say that somewhere in the 990 times out of 1,000, you'd win that quite easily. Typically what happens is Denver would take a shot with 3, 4, 5 seconds to go, miss it, make it, doesn't matter. The other team could go shoot the half court, make it, we still win. Incredibly, Denver went ahead and shot at 26 seconds. Of course, they missed. Sacramento got the ball, came down, shot, made it, and got fouled, and made the free throw. So we're still up 2 to the push with 9 seconds to go, taking the ball out. Again, what do you expect there to happen 99 times out of 100? Denver would take the ball down the court, shoot, make, miss, doesn't matter, half expires. No, they call an offensive foul on us. Okay, again, extremely unlikely, but it happened. With 3 seconds to go, Sacramento calls a timeout, goes in, hits the jumper at the buzzer for a push. Houston ends up covering, and we end up pushing on the side, so it ends up being a win and 2 pushes. All things being equal, we should have won all 3 of those, which would have created a winning night. Now let's go to Iona. Laying 2 on Iona. If anyone's watching that game, most of the game we were ahead. Certainly in the second half, we were ahead most of the game pretty comfortably. Towards the stretch, we go up by 4 in overtime. And with 1.3 seconds to go, the player from Siena was going to just hand the ball off, game over. The coach calls a timeout right before he hands it off. Instead, throws the ball just past half court to someone who catches it and shoots it at the buzzer and makes it to make it a 1-point game. How often do you think that happens? But lately, it's been happening to us a lot. If you look at the games that I've been giving you, we've been on the right side of a lot of these round robins. We should have hit, in my estimation, we should have hit 6 or 7 round robins. We wouldn't have been lucky. We would have just been average on the luck. We would have hit 6 or 7 in the last 5 days, which would have put us way up, hundreds of units. Anyways, it didn't happen. I can tell you that I have not seen this type of a streak before, and I expect it to turn around in a mighty way. And I'll be talking to you about the money management when I answer some of the questions, so you can see how we play through these kind of tough spots that we're in right now. On the half times, we were plus one bet last night, 4 winners, 3 losers. I'm zeroing in on that on the NBA, and feel very confident that we'll stay in the 60% range or higher long term on the rest of the NBA season, some of the college, and also the first 5 innings when baseball starts. So I'm going to go to some of the questions. We are not ducking any questions. We want to have full transparency here and make sure that everyone is comfortable continuing to go forward and until this big run hits, until we win more in the half times and we win more on the round robins. Question number 1. There's 2 questions from a subscriber named Eric. Explain to us some more of the logic behind your selections. Why so many favorites and not dogs? For example, Denver tonight, which I just talked about, it ended up a push. But why was it a first half play and not for the game? As bad as Sacramento is, I would think the longer the game went on, the more they would fall behind. Good question. I did take the first half because Denver has not been finishing strong, and they had a key player out, so their roster wasn't as strong as it usually is. Sacramento was tired, and in these type of situations with a big spread, the spread moved from -11 to -14. The game landed 12, so if we took it for the game, that sure would have been right in the range of who knows what would have happened. But you look at the first half, we were up by 12, laying 7 with 26 seconds to go. The stronger play was that Denver's going to come out after a bad loss and go ahead against a bad team in Sacramento. And then there's the called a backdoor cover, where a bad team that's getting double digits will come back because the favorite gets lackadaisical towards the end of the game where it doesn't really matter, and the team comes back and loses by 10 or 12, which is exactly what happened in this case. Question number 2 from Eric. Have you ever done teaser round robins, less payback, but these would definitely hit more often? No, I haven't, because this is an unusual streak for me of having so many close games and obviously losing so many close games. When you see this, when I get into my typical pattern, especially when I'm hot, the games aren't even close. So we end up with a lot more extension progression on the upside by not taking the teasers. I guess in a situation where there's games are landing a lot closer, if you're more comfortable taking teasers or buying some more points, that would have certainly helped you lately. In the long run, it hasn't worked for me as well as the systems that I'm encouraging you to use and I'm using myself. But again, everyone has different risk tolerance, and I know like the champ system has you buy 3 points many times. If that's something that you want to do during this period of some close games, then that would make sense to me. I just personally haven't done it that way. Question number 2 comes from Coach Ken. What is your most profitable sport? By far, my most profitable sport over the last 25 years has been baseball. Baseball doesn't have as many crazy endings as we've seen in basketball lately. If you take teams that have strong bullpens and strong closers, you'll see that if they're winning in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, they'll win the game in the 90s, sometimes the upper 90 percentiles. So you don't have as many flukes. The flukes will come maybe once out every 10 or 20 games where you're winning in the 8th or 9th inning and the other team comes back on you. But that's where I'm careful in baseball, that if I don't trust the closers and the bullpen, I'll take the games in the first 5 innings if I'm more comfortable with the starter than I am the bullpens. So you'll see that if the full games that we're taking in the round robins and straight up in baseball, we will be very careful not to take teams that blow leads when in the later innings, which isn't common overall anyways. So baseball is by far my most profitable sport. I get so comfortable in baseball that you'll see me recommend 4s and 5s round robin. Definitely don't do a lot of 2s and 3s because it's very normal for me to hit 10, 15 games in a row, 20 games in a row in baseball. It's very, very predictable for me. So are the other sports as well, but to answer the question, definitely baseball is the most profitable, and certainly look for baseball to come around next month. Question number 2 from Coach Ken. What has been the longest losing run you've gone with the round robins before you started a good winning streak? Well, you've seen it. This is the longest losing run that I've personally experienced in 25 years. And I don't know if I broke a mirror or crossed the lines on the sidewalk, or a black cat walked in front of me, or what the heck went wrong, but I've never seen anything like it, and the people around me haven't seen anything like this either. So it's going to turn in a mighty way here, and we've just got to minimize the action for you guys. I'm actually going the opposite direction. I'm going to start pounding them now, because this bad luck can't continue. All right, next question from Jeremy. 3 questions. My question for the whale is, how much have you lost in your career? We have heard a lot about your big wins, but at this point in following your plays, your losses are surpassing the gains. If someone missed the very first day of betting, they would have blown through their entire bankroll playing the whale's suggested amounts. What do we do when we are out of our bankroll? Okay, first of all, Jeremy, I apologize for not giving you clear instructions on how the money management works. When I've been suggesting the percentages on the round robins, I tell you 2% away for a total of 8%. That's of the existing bankroll. It's not of your starting bankroll. And so I want to make that very, very clear to everybody. This is a progressive declining system. So let me give you an example. Let's say your bankroll is $1,000 and you put them on the games, the 4 round robins last night, and you lost on 2 of them, 3 of them you lost, and one you got back a positive units of 7. So that would be negative 17 units, which would be $170. So going today, the bankroll is now 830. So the percentage is on 830. So the amounts you're actually playing go down when we're losing and go up when we're winning. And we actually progress the percentages when we're winning as well. So what ends up happening is one good streak will take care of a whole long losing streak. If we go through that type of a losing streak, which we currently are experiencing, the one winning streak will put you positive units, and then one really good winning streak will put you up for the year. That's what I've experienced in the last 25 years, and that's why I'm doing this for you guys, is so that you can experience it as well. But keep in mind, the percentages, which are 8% on the round robin, are 8% of the existing bankroll. You'll be seeing lower and lower amounts, but you'll never be out of your bankroll, because it's always a percentage of what's available at the beginning of the day. And in my situation, I'm more confident in what's going to happen longer term, and I may do the opposite of what I'm suggesting with you right now and lowering your plays to be more conservative for you. I know that this type of bad luck can't continue, and a lot of us here are actually going to start increasing because of the ridiculous luck that we've been experiencing. It hasn't been bad handicapping on a lot of these key games. It has been terrifically poor luck on the finishes. Okay, next question from Jeremy. Is this the worst streak you've ever been on? Your picks are hitting at below 50%, which is below average for the top cappers in the industry. Overall, since I've been giving the plays to the champ system, we have been up. We've actually still up on the units too, but because of their conservative nature, which I'm fine with, they did not show some of the round robins that hit. So yes, it's been a terrifically bad streak, but I'm still above 50% and still positive units from what I've showed the champ system, and that will all even out with some time. It's the following question, number 3. If you made so much money playing your picks, why sell your plays and deal with all the hassle? Well, this is the first time that I've done that. I've answered that in some of the other videos before. The opportunity to be able to help a lot of people win is something that's very fulfilling and important to me. The way we've set it up, I don't win unless you win. So there's no upside for me unless you guys win. We win together, we lose together, and we've got a full guarantee in place. The amount of money that I can play and progress in Las Vegas has been completely limited. So my ability to do what I've done in the past and progress from low thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands or millions, it doesn't exist for me anymore. So if I'm going to put this much time and attention, and it's not just me, there's extra people involved that help me with the handicapping, then the only thing that would make sense is to be able to share it with hundreds or potentially thousands of people and help a lot of people out. And then if everyone's paying a little bit towards these selections, then it becomes meaningful to do. But I've never done it before. I've been asked many, many times to join other organizations, and I've not felt comfortable with them, or just didn't feel like there was any point in me doing it because I was winning so much money on my own. Why bother with selling picks and, as you say, dealing with the hassle? When I met the Champ System group, I realized their integrity and how solid they are as a company, and how much they back their players, and their guarantees are ironclad. There's no question about it. Anybody that's been signing up, that money's just being held in escrow. It's not being spent. Nobody's making a penny off it until we get to the plus units for everybody. So I like the integrity on it. You can see how transparent we are. We don't run and hide when we have a bad day like the other touts do. We just lay it on the line and take our lumps. And obviously we're not excited about losing our own money either, but that's the reality of how we're doing it. And if we don't win, you don't win, I don't win, nobody wins. So I think it's a very honest system that we have here, and I really enjoy working with the Champ system, and actually very excited about everybody being not only very successful, but beyond your wildest imaginations. That's what this system will do for you. It always works in the long run. Sorry it hasn't yet. Next question is from Mark. 4 questions. What was your longest winning streak? I think the most impressive streak I remember was the one on Pinnacle, where I hit 92 out of 100 plays and went from 50,000 to 4 million in 4 days. I've had countless times that I've hit 29 out of 30. Sometimes I've hit 49 out of 50. I've hit ridiculous streaks where I'm even winning some games that maybe I shouldn't have. 80% are coming in clean, and the other 20 that are close are winning. Right now it's been the opposite, and I understand that, but you'll see some streaks with the whale that I don't think you've ever heard of before, and I really look forward to experiencing that with you. Everyone around me has seen them, and they all know it. I have a record on the site that shows some winning tickets that are substantial, and you don't do that without winning. You have to win to be able to move up to those type of levels. Next question: what professional college sport do you have the most success with? The college sports, I don't mess with baseball in college, so I'm basketball and football, and I would say that college football is better than college basketball, but college basketball I haven't had a losing season in college basketball either. Do you ever bet on golf? I bet on golf for fun, but I don't seriously handicap it. I take small amounts because I'm an actual golf fan. I like to watch especially the Masters and the US Open, but no, I don't bet on golf. Seriously. Question 4, are you aware of any consistent system or handicapper that can win 80% of all straight bets on 2 teams? There are systems that are 80%, but they come in pretty rarely. I would say that 80% plays might show up once, 2, 3 times a month. Most of the plays I'm looking at are in the solid 60s to 70s. That's what I'm looking for, and I use volume to create the progressive techniques I use. Glenn asks, which sport or season is typically your best and worst in terms of round robins? I've answered that a little bit before, but certainly the best is baseball, and the worst would be basketball. In the middle would be football. Jameson asks, when you put your groups together, do you like one more than the other? What makes you put certain games to group together? Great question, Jameson. Generally, I'm looking to put the same type of system plays together, but I'm also at times, like on weekends where there's a lot of flights, I'll try to put together my favorite picks in timing so that we can go on a progressive run. I think 3 Saturdays ago, maybe 4 Saturdays ago, we were up 66 units. We were able to pop a round robin early in the morning, and then I had everyone progress, and we popped another one. And those were 4 out of 4s. So those type of progressions are great. You can take a small amount of money and win a large amount of money in one day if there's a lot of games in different timing schedules. Mike asks, we've seen proof of your betting tickets that you bet along with us on the round robin plays, but how come you don't show any tickets that you bet along with us on the halftime plays? The halftime plays, I'll start doing that for you, but they are extremely limited in Las Vegas. It's not even worth my time to have people run around and wait for half times because of the fact that the limits are generally $500 or $1,000, and you can't put them into parlays around robins because of they don't finish at the same time. So when I was able to use the Pinnacle system, I made an enormous amount of money off half times, and when I was able to bet large amounts at some of the big casinos like the Mirage in the 90s and some other ones in 2000s before they lowered my limit, I would stay there and be in a position to take advantage of the half times within that 10-12 minute window. Now I'm using the same techniques that I've used to go on terrific hot streaks before, and I'm making sure that the champ system gets them out to you in plenty of time for you to take advantage of them however you do or if you choose to. So that's been the challenge in being able to get you the tickets because of the fact that it's just not easy for me to execute here in Las Vegas right now. Mike asks 2 questions. Why did it take you 20 years before you decided to share your picks? Because until recently, I was able to make such a large amount myself that it didn't make any sense for me to pass them on to someone else and possibly affect my own lines on the games I like. And in addition, I hadn't met a company that I trusted as much as I do the champ system. Next question for Mike. Since your picks have not made profits lately, do you feel that whatever methodology you were employing 20 years ago is no longer effective today? Great question, Mike. Actually, I have been playing since the 20 years. I've been playing pretty consistently in different pockets. So these are systems that I test over a 20 or 30 year period, and they consistently win year in and year out. And I'm not seeing that they aren't as effective today as they were. I've actually gone on some really great runs in the last year. Was starting with small money just to prove it out to people and also help out some friends that needed some extra money. Jeff asks, how is your service any different than any other touts I signed up with over the last 20 years, only to always be let down afterward? Well, Jeff, I don't know how many other touts have had the success that I've had over the last 25 years. I don't know how many others are showing you that they're playing along with you and that they're taking the tickets same as you are. And I don't know any other touts that have a guarantee where if you're not profitable in 60 days, you can ask for a refund of your money, and they're not spending your money in the meantime. Typical guarantees from other touts will be that they'll give you some more picks for free if they lose. They don't show you that they're playing along with you. They don't lose when you lose. They don't win when you win. And they certainly aren't putting up a guarantee where you're getting your money back if you don't win. So that's what makes us a lot different than the other ones that are out there. And I really do care. I want everyone to win. It's very important to me. This isn't just a business idea. This is something where I want to see people really succeed off all of the study and time and effort experience I've had over the last 25 years. Leonard, in order to ride out a cold streak, how many units do you recommend we bet per parlay? Remember, the key is that you're betting a percentage of your starting bankroll that day. So you set aside a bankroll for the round robins, you set aside a bankroll for the halftimes. The halftime ones, you're right around even. You're down on the round robins if you've been playing them. The official plays all along, depending on the timing when you came in. There's been some people that have made some really good runs off this, and hopefully some of them cashed out. But long term, this is going to be a big winner. What you want to do, though, is whatever you're starting, whatever your account balance is, whatever your bank availability is at the beginning of the day, you take a percentage of that. So as we're cold streaks like we're on right now, you are taking a lower and lower amount. As we get hot, you'll be taking a higher and higher amount because the bankroll will dramatically increase. And you'll see that progression occur. A lot of you that have been with me for a month or so have seen 3 or 4 really substantial days on the upside that put everyone positive after one day. Now I want to show everybody a multi-day streak, and then believe me, it's coming. We're way overdue. Okay, Kim asks, I would like to know what you think about buying points. Sometimes you say the official line is, for example, 4 points. If you can't get it near that, skip it. Rather than skip it, I occasionally buy it on the line to make it the official line. Your thoughts? Very good. Yes, I agree with that. And again, if sometimes during these spells, if you want to buy some extra points, that would protect you against the 3-point half-court shots being hit at the end. That's probably a good strategy. The reason I haven't done it before is because I haven't needed to, but right now, the way things are going, it would have been a good move, and possibly you should consider doing it until you see that the games just aren't even close. And really, that's what I look for. I don't like the close games. I like games that are easy winners. John asks 2 questions. If college teams are in aberration mode at the end of the season, why have you not recognized this pattern in past years? So you wouldn't have released 30 halftime bets, mostly losers this past weekend. John or Joe, that's a fair question. The reality is that I haven't seen the aberration mode kick in like it has this year. What I'm explaining is that must be the only thing that makes sense as to why what typically works isn't working. And yes, I went into 30 plays because typically the more volume you have on a fixed percentage win, it's like you're the casino. The more volume, the more the percentages work in your favor. And it certainly did not go as it normally does, but I wouldn't have recommended it had I seen that this pattern was in play. Once I noticed that it was in play, I stopped the volume of the college and focusing mainly on the NBA, which has been, right now we're at 58% win rate on the NBA, which is low for me, but still very profitable for everybody. And I apologize for the the lack of the consistency on the college, it certainly didn't help me either. It wasn't fun, and I'm quick to adjust when I see that something isn't working, and that's one thing that's great about how I go forward. I'm very realistic and logical in the approach, recognizing patterns, changing and adjusting to the patterns, and then we'll catch some beautiful waves together. Question number 2 from Joe. Why have round robin switched from 4x3 to 3x2? Didn't you make your fortune using 4x3? Yes, the big progressions were 4x3s. In baseball, I'll go 4s and a 5, sometimes even 5s and a 6. Baseball becomes so easy for me that and so consistent that I'm not afraid of any combination of teams when it comes to baseball. When it comes to basketball, and I don't see that I'm hitting 65, 70%, I will, and we're hitting a lot of 2 out of 4. I switched to the 2x3s so that when we hit 2 out of 3, it's basically breaking even. And I've done that so that we could have a little more consistency. But when I get hot again, you'll see me reverting back to the 4x3s, and you'll see huge progressions, hundreds of points possibly in one day if there's plenty of games to choose from. Gary asks, question on money management. Are we supposed to adjust our bets daily based on balance? Also, does 2% round robin is actually 8% of your current bankroll, which means if we do 4 round robins, it's actually 32% of our bankroll. That is correct, but it's of the existing bankroll. Always keep in mind, whatever you start with, you're doing a percentage of that. And as it progresses up, it gets higher. As it's declining, the plays get lower. So it's a percentage of a current bankroll. Jameson asks, my bankroll is only $200 a month. What would you advise on my amount to play on the round robins per day? Well, again, if you're starting with $200, then you'd be playing a total of $16 on the round robins. And even with starting with such a low amount, when we get hot, I've taken $300 into $1 million before. It's something that you can see substantial upside even with a small amount like that. So you would be taking the 8% of the $200. Mike asks, the product you're pushing appears to have merit in your methodology. I realize that you're in a bad skid right now. However, I appreciate that you have responded to the tough breaks by showing humility and compassion to us customers. That is a good attribute and buys you more time with me. My question is, what happens if you become unavailable, you're sick or on vacation? Will your team still be working to get the selections out? Thanks, Mike. After some brutal emails, I appreciate a kind one like that. And again, you'll always see the humility from me. You'll see the same tone up or down. I don't hide when there's a bad day, and I'm not going to act like I'm high and mighty on a good day. It's just all numbers, and the numbers pan out over time, just like a casino's odds do in the favor of a casino. There's a team of us, Mike. It's not just me. They're using the systems that I have found and perfected and tested over a long period of time. I'm the final decision maker on which plays we go with. But if I'm on vacation or I'm sick, which I'm rarely sick, they'd still be able to get me which plays fall into the different patterns and the different systems, and I'll certainly be able to keep the selections going. I know it's important for everyone to be able to have this additional income, and I take this mission very, very seriously. Keith asks, do you cap every one of the games you play, or are you just putting together plays shooting from the hip and hope they hit? It seems impossible to cap this many games individually without help. Most, if not all, successful gamblers I know make 1 or 2 selections a night, and that's it. Well, Keith, yes, you're right. Most people do take 1 or 2, and that's great. If you want to go with that type of an approach, certainly it's a grind, and you can make a little bit of money if they hit a high percentage over a long period of time. What we're doing here with the round robins and the half times is allowing a progressive system that's going to really make a difference. it's like going to be like hitting a jackpot or a lottery ticket. You're going to be taking a small amount of money and progressing into a large amount of money, which does require a significant amount of plays. We will be offering a single bet, lock of the day type program in the future, but I want to get everybody ahead through the half times and the round robins first before we introduce that play. There are plays that come up that are higher percentage wins for straight up plays, but again, any system like that, if you're starting with a small bankroll, it's just really a grind, and I don't even think it's necessarily a fair service to the players if they're going to be paying a monthly fee and might not even win enough to cover the monthly fee. With us, if you win, you're going to win substantial amount of money, and we put a guarantee behind that. I do have a lot of systems that I look at and a lot of patterns that I look at, so I'm able to group a decent percentage of the games every day to fall into one or the other patterns. That's why I'm able to play a lot of plays, and it's really worked well for me. I'm very interested in winning. I'm very interested in what works, and I'm using systems that have worked for me after trial and error with many different types of approaches over 25, 30 years. So this is what's worked for me. This is what the Champ system asked me to introduce to you guys, showing the type of results that I've had in the past. You know, it's exciting to think that you could take a small amount of money and end up with a substantial amount of money. And that's what you're going to see, where the grind systems, unless you have a lot of money to put in play, it's not going to really make a big difference in your life, in my opinion. Bob asks, some of your picks are circled and I cannot get a parlay on them. Should I just bet on the remaining teams and increase the wager because I'm betting on less teams? Yes. If that's the case, if you can't get one of them, then if it's 2s and a 3, then do a 2-teamer. If you're down to one team, you can just take it straight. Efren asks, on the halftime plays, do we stick to the same amount on each play, or do we play 11% of bankroll every play? 11% of the bankroll. It's a progressive declining system, just like the round robins. It allows you to really progress up when we get on a roll, and you go progress down when we're not on a roll. The other thing that I've talked about before, it's important when we go on a roll, whatever your seed money was, your investment money in this, I'd like to see you guys take that and put it back in the bank, spend it, pay some bills, do something, go buy some gifts with it, so that you're playing off of house money from then on. That's what I always do, and that's a lot of fun because you're at that point you can't lose. You're already ahead, and you've already recovered back what you started with. Peter asks, why doesn't the whale focus on NBA games under, where he seems to be at his best? If I would have reversed every one of his NCAAB basketball picks, I would have won more. That's true on this pattern. There was a bad run of right around 50-50 on college basketball, but that's not typical. We have hit a very high percentage of our under totals on the NBA. We've caught several roundies and been able to identify some good trends there. But you'll also see that the trends will start to go over too, and I'll catch it, and we'll be riding the over waves as well in all sports. So it just goes by what the energy levels of the team are and the performance level, whether focusing on offense or defense, and what their strategies are. We catch it and we ride it. Nicholas asks, my only question is, are we about to turn the ship around soon? I'm sorry for projecting frustration. I realize he's got a lot to lose too, but I just want to know what the plan is to turn this around and what to expect after a tough streak. Well, my history is to follow a bad luck streak like we've been on with very good handicapping and at least 50-50 on the luck department, and maybe sometimes it evens out and we go on and win some games that are close. So historically, any kind of a tough run is followed by an extremely successful run, and the memories of the loss fade away real quick when you hit 4, 5, 6, 7 round robins on a progressive manner, and you're up hundreds of units. Everyone that's been with me all along has seen some days like that. You haven't seen multiple days. You're going to be seeing multiple days soon. And then as we go into baseball season, woo, watch out. I mean, when I go on one of my 29 out of 30 streaks, hit 15, 20 in a row, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun, and you make a lot of money. And I do it every single year. And we are in a tough spot right now, but you're lowering your percentage, you're lowering your amounts because the percentage of the existing bankroll creates a lower play amount. But again, as I said earlier, I'm so confident that this crazy streak of tossing the coin and landing on tails every time is not going to continue. So I'm expecting this to turn around right away, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is, as you'll see with the tickets coming out today. Okay, Will asks 4 questions. Why are you picking so many games? Why not take the elite picks for the day rather than 12 to 15? Viewed as harder to win, and the smaller bettor may not be comfortable taking so many plays. Again, the percentages, the way we do the money management takes into account whether you're a small bettor or a large bettor, because it's changing the amounts you're playing in real dollars based on the percentages of the existing bankroll. The system I'm using has worked for me very, very well. It's worked for me every season, every year, and it will continue to work where I would have switched it. I would go to a different approach because I'm all about winning, and I'm all about winning for you guys and for my family. Question number 2, why do your major wins only come from a time that was 15 to 20 years ago? Systems change along with the information. There's more information available now actually than before. The fact of the matter is that I did not keep records from the pinnacle wins, and actually didn't keep any records from the wins in the 90s. It just so happened that I was winning so much that a major hotel ran an ad campaign showing all the wins to try to keep the high rollers, the other whales, coming in to play there. That was an unusual time, and it hasn't repeated itself in the Las Vegas market. But that's why the wins, the big wins, are from the 90s, is because of the ad campaigns that were being run at that time. When you win a ticket, you cash it, you don't have access to the winning tickets anymore. The casinos have it. So it's not something that you can keep and show again. Question number 3, do you win every year? And if so, then how much based on your casino limits? Can you break down how much money you won every year? I don't have the specific numbers on how much I won every year, and it really depends on what the casinos are limiting me to. Right now, it's not just me. There's other successful handicappers. If you Google sportsbook limits in Las Vegas, you'll see that a lot of blogs out there, people are complaining about when you go on any kind of a hot streak, the casino sportsbooks are cutting you off or cutting you way back. It's a major problem that exists right now. There's just not a lot of bookmaker casinos out there that are taking the kind of action that they used to. And right now it's especially hard because the sportsbooks actually had a bad end of the NFL season. The general public won for the first time in many, many years. The general public was on the big favorites and rode them, teased them and money-lined them. And as you know, the Patriots won and covered a tremendously high percentage, and they were going winning and covering the total. Like 8, 9 times out of 10. Atlanta was doing the same thing. Green Bay got on a run. Dallas was playing well. All of the general public favorite teams were doing exceptionally well towards the latter part of the season, and people were parlaying them and teasing them, and the sports books just did not do well, which makes it where when they're not doing well like that, they cut back on the limits for people that they consider sharpies. Question number 4, how can you pick second half plays before the game starts, let alone before having a halftime score? I don't take the second half plays before the game starts. because of the fact that I'm trying to make sure that you guys have time to get them in, I'm getting the plays to the champ system between 30 and 50 seconds before the game goes to half, or right when it goes to half. And I only do it if it's not at halftime, if there's already a substantial difference in the spread and it's set up as a game that I want to take on a bounce or an extension. I don't necessarily take teams that are going to bounce, and I don't necessarily take teams that are extending. I study their second half performances and base the decisions to either take a play or not take a play based on their recent track record. Last question Michael asks, let's say you've picked 4 different groups, with each group consisting of 3 teams. Would it be wise to bet on an additional round robins by taking 2 bets from group 1 and combining it with 1 bet from group 2? Michael, when I get hot, you can do anything you want and it'll work. So right now, what I'm focusing on is getting on a streak, and I get on streaks that are legendary. They are just, you're not even going to believe how much you're going to win. Like Donald Trump says, you may just get sick of winning. That's how much winning you're going to have and you're going to experience. I know you've only seen pockets of it so far, but I'm here to tell you and put my word on it and guarantee on it, and I put my money where my mouth is. You're going to see incredible runs, hopefully soon, but soon enough. So use the money management system wisely and make sure you're taking a percentage of what your existing bankroll is at every time, and we'll weather the storm together, and the sunny days are coming, and very big wins are coming too. With that in mind, here are the 3 round robins for today. I'm going to do 2s and 3s, 2%, total of 8 of your active existing bankroll as of this morning. So first one is 702 Oklahoma City minus 6.5. Second one is 704 under on Dallas Mavericks, 205.5. And the third one on the group 1 is 706 Phoenix Suns plus 4.5. That's 702 Oklahoma City, 704 under on Dallas Mavericks, 706 Phoenix Suns. Next group is in college, next 2 are in college basketball. Again, they're all 2s and 3s, 2% each, total of 8% of your active bankroll. The way the champ system has been doing the official line is not actually taking into account that the amounts, percentages are the same, but the actual amounts have been decreasing. They're just using a flat rate right now. Well, that's something that we can maybe adjust in the future, but that's how they've been doing it for the official record. 712 Georgia Tech plus 2, 714 Northern Kentucky minus 6, 716 Gonzaga minus 5. I'll repeat, 712 Georgia Tech plus 2, 714 Northern Kentucky minus 6, and 716 Gonzaga minus 5. Last one in college, 2s and 3s, 2 away, total of 8, 724 Nebraska Omaha plus 3, 730 South Carolina State minus 5, and 726 Mount St. Mary's minus 5. That's Mount St. Mary's, not St. Mary's. 726 Mount St. Mary's. Okay, so the final one, repeat, 724 Nebraska Omaha plus 3, 730 South Carolina State minus 5, 726 Mount St. Mary's minus 5. Okay, I feel very good about this card. I'll be forwarding the ticket proof to you here soon, and I'm on it, and I expect to win a lot of money tonight, and I expect you will too. So thank you for your time, attention, patience. I hope answering these questions have made you feel better about how sincere we are and how much we are on your side. We're all together, we're a team, and I really look forward to the sunny days coming here soon. Thank you. Going forward, I will continue to release all of my daily picks to you for free if you subscribe to my mailing list. So make sure you subscribe to my mailing list so that I can email you with all of my picks every day. I've made tens of millions of dollars betting on sports over the years, and now I'm finally breaking my secret so that you too can share in my success. All you have to do is just click to the link in the description of this video, then enter your name and email address on the next page, and I'll begin emailing you with all of my daily picks whenever they come up. Remember, subscribing to my mailing list is 100% free, no strings attached. And every day that you're not a subscriber to my mailing list is another day that you may have missed out on one of my devastating winning runs. So be sure to click on the link in the description to join my mailing list today, 100% free. And you'll be the first to know when I release my killer picks every single day.